It's not playing the game. It's winning that counts.
Yeah, baby. We're going to go out there and win.
This is Just Win Bets, baby.
Just win, baby.
With JoeDaFan and Shane O'Mac.
How do they keep winning?
Live on the Sports Bet Winning Network.
And here we go again. Welcome. It is Just Win Bets, baby, on the Sports Bet Winning Network. JoeDaFan alongside Shane O'Mac. We are live in studio on a Friday night, a busy 90-minute show lined up tonight. We will go around the league with the NFL and Washington Skins news, the association, the NHL, and UFC 326, which is tomorrow night, as well as Shane O'Mac will talk about his best bets for tomorrow night's event in 10 minutes. Lou Finocchiaro in 20 minutes with his best bets for the main card. The Wise Man will be joining us in 45 minutes with our college basketball segment of the show, and we will wrap up, of course, with our best bets around various leagues. But we begin with Lou Holtz, college football great, passes away at the age of 89. Shano, he lived a great life, but the sports world lost a good one.
Yeah, Lou Holtz was the man. I never really watched him coach. I remember him more as an analyst when he was covering college football. He did it for ESPN. I think he also did it for CBS too, didn't he? I know he did it like multiple stops.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I definitely remember him on ESPN, and he would sit there. He was great. He did so much for the game of college football. He had an incredible record as a coach. Tried out he actually coached the New York Jets too. Didn't do too great in the NFL, but a great college football coach. Good as an analyst, and he did it all with like a lisp too, which a lot of people overlook, especially becoming an analyst like that and talking on TV.
Right.
He had that patented lisp he always spoke with. Great guy from everybody's all accounts. It talks about. It's sad. I feel like every time we're talking about each week, we're talking about somebody else passing away. People need to stop dying. Especially legends like Lou Holtz. But he did live a long life and a very, very great life, and it did a lot for the sport of college football.
Obviously, he coached numerous teams, as you mentioned there, Shana. Of course, I remember him being the coach of Notre Dame, who had a great assistant coach at that time in Urban Meyer. I don't want to take anything away from Lou Holtz, but a great wide receiver coach, which led Urban Meyer to be a great coach down the line. So there's that tree we've talked about in coaching tree where you're coming from, you know, the West Coast offense of Bill Walsh, you know, that area, or the Andy Reid tree and stuff like that. So Lou Holtz not only developing great coaches, but also great college football players that went on to play in the NFL and do other things and became great overall people.
Yeah, totally agree with you there. Everybody that has spoken, like, since he's passed away, I've been watching a bunch of people talking about it on interviews and things like that. Everybody's saying he was a hell of a man, and definitely a man of character. And he helped shape the minds of so many young kids coming in through his college programs, and they turned out to be great individuals as well. So the world lost a good one. They definitely lost a good one in Coach Holtz.
Yeah, absolutely. So our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, and of course the sports world lost a really good one. Hopefully we can talk to Lou as he comes on in about 20 minutes. Maybe he has a story of him and Lou Holtz. We'll have him on in about 20 minutes. Let's switch gears real quick here, Shano. Let's talk about the Skins, where Biotic, we've talked about him, the center or former center of Washington Skins, now signed with the Chargers.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. That's puzzling. We talked about that they actually cut him because they don't really have another center. And then, like we talked about it, he's not an all-pro, but he's a solid starter. And it was surprising that they cut him and he got signed right away. And he'll help the Chargers offensive line that struggled a lot last year. Justin Herbert, if you remember him in the playoffs, he was getting abused, right? He couldn't stand still for more than a second without some guy in his face, right? So he'll help out a lot there. I wish him the best. Did you see, did the money come out for that yet? Like what his contract deal will be?
I think it was 3 years, but I don't know how much it was. I don't think it came out when we came on the air here. So I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I haven't seen the money anywhere. So I was curious if you saw it.
Yeah. But I mean, and going back to that's what I love about Harbaugh. He focuses on the O line, but especially if you're going to get those two bookends, the tackles back, all being one of them. That looks like a solid line, and they can definitely run that ball down people's throats. So look out for the Chargers next year.
Yeah, I agree 100%, especially like that killed them last year, losing both their tackles. And then he'll bolster that middle of the line pretty well. Like I said, he's not the best center in the world, but he's probably middle of the pack, and that's a solid starter, right? So I mean, that's exactly what you want there. And if you don't have an all-star, so he'll help them out a lot. Now I'm curious what the Skins are going to do there. So I heard that there might be signing a center here soon, but I think legal tampering period starts Monday, I believe, right?
I think so. I mean, obviously the combine has completed, and then we'll talk about that real quick on maybe a mock draft. I know it's early. We're about a month and a half out of because it comes out and the draft comes out at the end of April, but it's still a little too early to talk about it. But yes, to answer your question, Monday would be that date of when it actually opens up, and there has been talks about what the Skins will do. My thing I'm not understanding is what the Patriots, and you probably heard this one here, Shano, AJ Brown potentially going from the Eagles to the Patriots for a number of draft picks being a swap in the first round.
Yeah, AJ Brown's been unhappy in Philadelphia. Sure. And I don't know if I would want him on my team, because if he doesn't get the ball early and often, he causes a problem on the sideline. Do you remember that one game? He literally pulled a book out and started reading it on the sidelines, right? Because they weren't giving the ball. I mean, I get diva receivers. They're out there. They kind of just had one with Stephon Diggs, and they're letting him go, right? Sure. Diggs is definitely a little bit older. He's been in the league a lot longer, so that makes a little bit more sense why you're letting him go. But, I mean, it could work out for him. They don't really have another bigger name receiver. Drake May, I think, has a better arm than Jalen Hurts does. Sure. So that could probably be helpful for him as well, to have a big play receiver. And it'll be interesting what happens with Philly, because they don't have that easy button anymore where you can just throw it up to a big receiver like A.J. Brown is.
Right. But to get those draft picks, we're talking about swapping to the first. I think it was a third rounder, and I think there was something else, but that's Philly. I wish we had, no disrespect to Adam Peters, but we need to be a little bit more aggressive too. We've got a lot of money under the cap, I think what are we, second, third?
I think we're second. I think we're second after we cut Lattimore. Yeah. I think we're second. We have like over $90 million to spend right now. So that's a lot of money we can spend. So we have the second most cap room. I hate the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. I can't stand their fans. Right. I can't stand anything about them. That Kelly Green, that Puke Green, I hate that too. But Roseman, man, he's a hell of a GM, and he builds some good quality teams. And if he gets those picks, he'll make them worth their while. He'll put together a good team. That's the one thing I wish they would get rid of him. But he's a good GM. I think the Eagles will be fine in the long run.
Yeah, and again, we'll have a little bit more coverage of our draft or talk about more about the combine a little bit later. I mean, they're already talking about maybe us drafting, and we talked about it there, Shano. Love from Notre Dame. I don't know. I still say trade back.
If you can find a partner, I would definitely trade back. I kind of liked your one that you texted me a couple days ago about trading back with the Rams, but then the Rams traded one of their first round picks. Right. So I don't think that's going to happen anymore for them. Right. Because they traded their first round pick for the corner out of Kansas City. Yep. So.
Yep. And they just signed Curl. I'm happy for Curl. Curl played for us, but for the Skins a few years ago. But he signed an extension, so I'm happy for him. But
yeah. Yeah, he's played pretty well for us, and then he's played pretty well since he's left us too. So that's good for him. There's definitely setting up that secondary to be a pretty good one.
Absolutely. Let's shift gears here now, Shano, and let's talk some UFC before we get Lou and get his best picks. Again, Lou Finocchiaro coming on in about 15-20 minutes here, but let's talk about your picks. Let's dive into the main card of UFC 326, and let's start with the two Brazilians, Rodriguez taking on Ferreira.
Yeah, so these two have fought before. They fought back in UFC 283, which is about just over 3 years ago. They fought each other. Ferreira won by knockout in that fight. It was a first-round knockout, and it was his first fight in the UFC, which is pretty impressive, right? Your first fight in the UFC, you win by knockout. You're definitely going to be in Dana White's favor when that happens, right?
Right.
Ferreira's continued to do pretty well in the UFC. He's won 5 of his last 7 fights. So that's pretty good. RoboCop Rodriguez, he has also been pretty good since that last fight. So he got knocked out by Ferreira. He's had 6 fights since then, and he's been 5-1 in those fights. So I think that's going to be that's pretty telling there that both fighters are still have a pretty good record right after that. Both these fighters are about the same age. There's no real age advantage here. Rodriguez does have a longer reach, which is definitely an advantage, but Ferreira is definitely the more explosive fighter. Definitely, but RoboCop still has some good hands. I think that RoboCop might have overlooked Ferreira a little bit the first time. I think this fight is going to be really close. It's going to be very close. I don't like picking either one of these. But what I do like is that the over-under is at 1.5 rounds, and it's currently at like -110. And I don't see this fight ending in the first round like it did the first time. I think Rodriguez is going to be more patient. He's not going to rush in and get knocked out early like that. I think that both of them will take their time. They're both more seasoned veterans now, right? So I don't see this fight ending in the first round like it did the first time around. Over-under at 1.5 rounds, I think that's a solid bet there. So I think that's what my play is going to be.
So what is your official pick there? I'm sorry, you're saying over 1.5?
Over 1.5.
Over 1.5 on the Rodriguez RoboCop taking on Bruno. I like it. I know I've studied this match as well, and looking at the stats, courtesy of our friends over at Next MMA. With the tail of the tape, as you can see right there, folks. And did you pick up anything from those guys from Next MMA?
Oh yeah, tons of stuff from Next MMA. They have a ton of good stats. They break it all down for you. I got and that's another thing about this fight, man. They're striking. If you look at their statistics from Next MMA, their striking capabilities are almost identical. I mean, so it's going to be a close one. I think Ferreira definitely has more power. I think, but RoboCop's got some heavy hands too, man. So it wouldn't be surprising me if either one of these two guys win. RoboCop's still the favorite, even though he lost the first time out. Last time they fought, I think he was a -210 or a -220 favorite, somewhere around there, and he lost. So it's gone down slightly since then, their first fight 3 years ago. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if Ferreira wins this fight because he's so explosive. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to stay away from who wins this one, but I definitely like that over-under.
Gotcha. Let's move to our next fight here in a sense of the two Americans. We talked about the two Brazilians. Let's talk about the two Americans. And this is the odds have totally changed. We'll get the odds up right there. The odds totally changed when it first opened. A lot of money's coming in for Drew Dober, the American, as he takes on Michael Johnson. They had Michael Johnson, I believe, at -250, -270. He's down to -122. Huge money coming for Dober.
A lot of money coming on Dober. This fight, I can't wait for this fight. This fight, I think, has a potential to be fight of the night. It's these two guys. You won't see anybody trying to do a takedown or trying to take anybody to the ground. It's going to be straight. They're both pure strikers. They're going to stand in the middle of the ring and just trade blows back and forth. And they're going to be doing that. And what's crazy is both these guys are professional fighters. This is their 88th combined fight between the two of them. Michael Johnson's been fighting in the UFC since 2010. So both these guys have been around for a while, and both of them, man, they both have some power in their hands, and that's what they want to do. They want to trade and bang, man. And I can't wait for this fight. I think this fight's going to be super, super entertaining.
What's your lean on this one?
So Dober in his last 3 fights, he's lost 2 and only won 1. He's lost 2 by knockout, 1 by TKO, and he's won 1 his last fight by TKO. Johnson is on a 3-fight win streak. So That's why he's slightly favored now. But like you said, he was minus 250. So a lot of money going on Dober. Both these guys are going to trade blows back and forth. If it goes to the ground, I think Michael Johnson's got a better wrestling game than Dober. But even in the stand-up game, Dober's got some punches and he can hit. But I think he leaves himself exposed a lot more often than Michael Johnson does. Michael Johnson is a better defensive fighter than Dober is. I think Johnson wins. I'm going to put a unit on Michael Johnson to win money line. And then I'm going to put like a half a unit on him to win by knockout.
Wow. Okay. At plus 200 right now. That's what we have over at DraftKings. That's our friends over at DraftKings. Plus 200 for knockout, TK or DQ, right? So,
yeah.
And then your official bet, of course, is Michael Johnson money line at minus 122. Let's move here now, Shano, to this one, which is Rob Font taking on Raul Rosas Jr., both coming out from America, but they're the Puerto Rican taking on the Mexican here. The age difference. We talked to Lou at 325. Or no, I'm sorry, it was a couple of fight nights ago where he said, hey, look at the age. Do you see you're talking about a 17-year difference here, and Rosas just turned 21.
Yeah, Rosas is an up-and-coming huge star. The UFC is trying to push him for a while, and it's crazy. He already has 12 professional fights, and he's only 21 years old. He debuted in the UFC at the age of 18. I mean, the kid's like a prodigy, right?
Right.
He's incredible. He's really good. Font has been around for a long time. But the thing that he has, and this going in his favor here, is he's got a pretty big reach advantage, and that goes to his advantage there. But we've talked with Lou about this a lot. That age gap that's nothing to joke about, man. That's 17 years, and remember he said anything 6 years or more, the younger fighter usually has a 60 to 70% winning percentage.
Sure.
So I like Rosas a lot in this fight. I'm going to take him. I don't think he ends him here. I'm leaning taking him per decision.
Okay.
Which is at plus 130 or
plus
minus
110. Plus 110.
Yep. Plus 110. So I think I'm going to go Rosas plus 110 decision.
Okay. And we'll hear, of course, from Lou in about 5 minutes. Let's move to the co-main event, Shano, where we have a Brazilian taking on the gentleman from the Netherlands, Holland, as one would say, De Ridder. And again, very similar in the age and very somewhat close in the reach. And we can see the tailgate courtesy of Next MMA. And check out Lou Finicaro's podcast about business, and he'll give you his best bets. You can catch his podcast anywhere where you can get your streaming podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, the whole 9 yards there. So check him out. What is your take here for this one?
I think this is going to be another good fight, man. De Ridder's definitely a bit more of a grappler compared to Bahalo, but this is going to be a super, super entertaining fight. Age difference really isn't a big thing here. De Ridder does have a bigger reach. Man, this is another close one to me. I think Baralo is a better striker, and I could see him winning this fight. I kind of want to go with him as an underdog here. I think he has some value here. Okay. Oh no, he's the favorite, right? He's the favorite. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Michael Johnson fight still, but yeah. So he's the favorite. I kind of like him to win. I don't think he's going to knock him out. I think I'm going to take him once again by decision here.
By decision at plus 110. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this co-main event as well. So it's going to be interesting. This is a nice card. A lot of people are saying, hey, this card is, as the kids would say, mid. I don't see it. I really don't.
No, there's not a lot of star power, like big names on this card.
Sure.
And I think that's why people are saying it. But all the fighters on this card are entertaining and fun to watch. And they all put on great fights. It's going to be a great card, I think. A very good card.
Let's move to the main event here. This is, of course, the rematch. Max Holloway, the American, taking on Charles Oliveira, the Brazilian. And you can see the tail of the tape. Again, close in age, but the reach advantage, 74 inches for Charles, where Max has a 69. Does that, and the height is pretty much the same. Does that concern you in any way?
Not with Max Holloway. He is a great striker. He doesn't have a lot of wasted movements. He's very pure striker, and he's got very good takedown defense. And Charles Oliveira, it's not like he can't strike. He's not capable of it. He is capable of it, but he basically wants to grab you and put you in a submission. I mean, if you look at his record, he's got 22 submissions in his UFC career. That is ridiculous. It's by far the most, more than any other UFC fighter. He's won by submission is 22, where Max Holloway kind of just wants to stand up and then just piece you up, right? He just wants to put some combos on you and then knock you out. That's what he wants to do, right? So, and for most people, yes, I would be concerned about that. But Holloway's such a better striker, I don't think that it's that much of a concern. Charles Oliveira, like I said, he's not a bad striker, but he's just not on. I don't think he's on Max Holloway's level. For my pick here, what I'm going with, Charles Oliveira, their first fight, people think he kind of just gave up in that first round. They fought each other, and Max Holloway won by TKO. Holloway here is a heavy favorite. I don't like the money line there because minus 230. Right. I think he knocks him out. Charles Oliveira, he's got a kind of a weak chin at times. He's been knocked out multiple times in his last couple of fights, right? So he got knocked out by Topuria. He got knocked out by he got submitted by Islam Makhachev, right? He's shown that he can be finished, right? So I like Max Holloway to finish this thing. I'm going to put money on Max Holloway to win by TKO/knockout/DQ.
Wow. At plus 165, we will, of course, recap all of those picks later in the show. So in case you missed it, we will, of course, recap that. We will step away and get our good friend, Lou Finocchiaro, next to talk about his best bets in UFC 326. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Just Win Bets, baby. We are, of course, joined by Lou Finocchiaro. Lou, good to see you, my friend. Before we get into UFC 326, Shano and I were just talking about the late Lou Holtz. It definitely was a sad day that we heard the sad news. Great coach, great person. I did not have the opportunity to meet him, but I did see a lot of his games. Your thoughts real quick on that?
Yeah, I did get to meet him. It was at a B'nai B'rith speech in Omaha, Nebraska, believe it or not. But Holtz was a famous public speaker, and when you're done listening to him, you're looking for the first wall to run through because the guy was so motivating. I have such great respect for him, such a sad deal. If you have a second, I have a great gambling story about Lou Holtz. And that's in 1979. He was the head coach for Arkansas. Arkansas was going to the Orange Bowl to play Billy Sims in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma was a 14-point favorite. So the week before the game, or the day before the game, the starting running back and the second string running back went out and tripped their triggers down out on the town. And Holtz kicked them both off of the team. And so when the lines reacted to that, that number went up to 17.5, 18.5, Oklahoma favored. So that night we're going down to watch the game, and I go to the guy that kind of taught me this business. We were young then. I'm in high school. And he takes me into his room where he has a telephone. He calls a concierge in a hotel in Miami to ask what the weather was. But to get the weather, he feigned like he was coming to the game. He says, "Hey, we're in the airport. Should I come to the hotel and change, or can I go straight to the game?" And the guy's like, "You may not get to the game. It's raining cats and dogs and blah, blah, blah." So he looked at me then, and I thought, well, for sure we're going to bet Oklahoma. And no, he says, we're betting Arkansas. So we took Arkansas on 17.5 points. And you can look this up. A gentleman named Rollins Scales was the third string running back for Arkansas. He ran for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Arkansas beat Oklahoma bloody. And that's my story on Lou Holtz and gambling.
Oh, that's amazing. That is, of course, amazing. What a great time. And again, our condolences go out to him and his family. What a tough loss. But a good man. Definitely a good man.
A super good man, a great coach. Everywhere he went, he won.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lou, of course, let's talk about a little UFC 326 as we are, of course, are going to dive right in. And we'll start off with the two Brazilians, Gregory Rodriguez taking on Bruno Ferreira. Your thoughts on this matchup?
My thoughts are that if you're a fight fan, you know that you want to watch this. And if you're not a fight fan, this is the fight you want to watch, because I think if you do, you'll see a couple of different things that are basic about fighting. I think you'll see violence. I think you'll see a challenge of styles. And I think you're also going to see one man be put out by the other man. I think it's fair for me to say that. So this is also a rematch. These guys fought some years ago when Ferreira had his debut. I think for sure RoboCop, Greg Rodriguez, the taller, longer Brazilian, I think he maybe underestimated Ferreira a little bit, and he failed to use his well-rounded nature, because Rodriguez is a world-class grappler along with solid striker. He can be chinny. He can get rung up. And what's Pereira? A short, squat, explosive powder keg of a power puncher. And in that first fight, Rodriguez kind of got stung and his pride took over, and Ferreira knocked him cold. And so now, some years later, the question I have, Will, is this: will Rodriguez show up to this fight with some IQ and know that he has to maybe play a judicious first round and then find a way to get his opponent on the ground? Because in the grappling is Rodriguez's advantage. If he does that, and if he can execute that, he wins this fight. However, if he stands at distance with Ferreira and allows Ferreira to be encouraged by looking at something similar to what that first fight was, I don't know how the result can be different. So I have to regard Ferreira as highly dangerous, and this fight way closer than what the line suggests.
Yes. The lines definitely has moved, especially for the next match that we're going to talk about in just a second. But so are your early lean here is to take Bruno at plus 164?
Yeah, I want to like Bruno. I do like Bruno. I don't know what's happened since their last fight. That both guys have had tremendous momentum. Yes, Rodriguez has been in with maybe a little bit more elite level of talent, but this is a really good fight for each man, because the winner surely gets propelled up in the division. I think that for me, I'd rather trust the explosive nature and athleticism of Ferreira than the IQ of Rodriguez.
Let's move now to the two Americans. We talked about the two Brazilians earlier. Let's talk about the two Americans with Drew Dober taking on Michael Johnson here. The line has changed here, Lou. It's totally been kind of like a seesaw. It was the line for Johnson was up. It was minus, I believe, 215 at once. It's now down to minus 122. There has been a lot of money that's been coming in on Dober. So, and where it opened up at plus 170, it's now to what we have here is at plus 102, and it's dropping dramatically.
Yeah, our opening lines are a little different, but basically what's happened is that money has flown in on Dober for the most part, and you can see why he's a little bit more name recognized. But let's understand, Dober's 37. The good news for him is he's 2 years younger than his opponent, who's 39, a geriatric fight. But these two dudes aren't going to fight or look like 37 and 39. Oh no. Don't think that for a minute, because Dober is a guy that is fearless. He will absolutely eat a punch to throw one or two, and he's not afraid of the fire, so he'll march right in. Michael Johnson is the exact same way. However, Michael Johnson has a taller, longer frame. He, even though he's the older man, is the more agile, explosive man. And he has the ability to potentially keep Dober at the extent of his strikes and kicks. And if he can do that, he'll hold advantage. So Dober's got to get in. Johnson wants to keep it at distance. Going to be an unbelievable fight because both guys want to stand there and toss. It's at what range those punches are being hurled at will tell us a great deal. And so here's another fight that I can't see seeing a full 15 minutes here. So somehow or another, one of these guys finishes the other. I think it's just a fascinating fight. I'm stunned it's taken this long for these two cats to square off, but it's going to be great. And Dober coming in off a little bit of a clunker where he had to really dig deep and in order to find his way back from almost getting beat by someone that's not to the level that neither Dober or Michael Johnson is. And Michael Johnson coming in looking after a fight where he looked pretty sharp. Johnson can look like lightning one fight, and then he can look like turpentine the next, just washed and nowhere and aimless. And so he has to balance his focus. But if he comes in ready to fire, this fight's going to be as good as RoboCop and Ferreira. You're going to have lightning and fireworks right on top of each other.
Very nice, very nice. We're joined, of course, with the great Lou Finocchiaro, and you can catch his podcast About Business wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, on Spotify, the whole 9 yards there. He breaks everything down, or his top 3 or top 4 best bets for these matches. He went 3-1 last week on Fight Night. So make sure, and you can always catch him on that, and you can always catch him on X at GamLou, or check out his website, gamlou.com. Let's move to the next fight here. Here's the Puerto Rican. They both are now established, of course, in the United States. I'm talking about Rob Font and Raul Rosas Jr., the Mexican. So your thoughts here in this particular fight?
Yeah, I have many thoughts, and it starts with age. Font 37 and the young Rosas 21. So you really have a 16, 17-year difference in age here. What we know about Font is several things because his career has been deep. He's a warrior. He's durable as he can be. He's there for the fight. He's got a brilliant boxing, moves really well on his feet, but is primarily a striker and can struggle with grapplers, especially his takedown defense, 42%. So the other side of the coin from Font is this young 21-year-old Rosas has just turned 21. He happens to be training here in Phoenix at the MMA lab. And so I get a good look at him and get to see him work. And I can tell you that they're preparing him accordingly to be able to deal with the tricks that Font has up his sleeve, because one Kyler Phillips, an MMA lab bantamweight fighter that's helping Rosas in this preparation, already fought Font and lost. So the gym knows who Font is. And, oh, by the way, Font's gym knows who the lab is and what their tendencies are. So you really have great intermixing here. But at the end of the day, this is simply a fight where Font must keep it standing. It's very simple for him. He's going to need to use his distance and keep this a striking match where he holds advantage. Rosas is going to shoot out of a cannon to immediately try and clasp onto anything he can grab to clinch up and begin to take this fight into an up-close and personal battle. And here's a fight that we finally get when you're looking at the totals of these fights we've been talking about. Everyone's 1.5 because these guys are killers. But in this fight here, there's a little bit more, they're lighter weight, and there's a little bit more technical ability here. And because you have a 2.5 round total with the overshaded pretty heavy, I think there's ways to go in this fight. And if you go to DraftKings, they have fight to end in split or majority decision for this fight, which I think is a high probability. I think this is going to be much closer competed a fight than this line indicates, meaning I can't see why a 21-year-old who's still learning is such a favorite over a grown-ass man who's been in the organization for a long time. So this, I feel strongly this goes to decision. I feel strongly this is a close decision. And I feel strongly that taking fight to go to split or majority decision at plus 330 is a very solid way of thinking. At least that's what I think. And so that's what I'm going to do.
I like that. I like that a lot. Right there, split or excuse me, split decision, or did you say majority decision there?
Split or majority. So you get two judges on one side, one guy on the other, or you get two judges on one side and a push.
Absolutely. Split or majority decision at plus 330. I like that. I really like that. That's something that I will definitely
we'll
look
see.
into.
I don't mind throwing bombs once in a while, but I'm not the guy that sits here and tells people to take this 13-1 shot. I want to cash. Excuse me. I want to cash tickets. It's gone here there, Lou. We just got the number here. Producer just sent this to us. Raul Rosas, Jr. to win by split or majority decision at plus 450. Oh, so, and where's that? At what book is that?
That's at DraftKings. That's on DraftKings.
DraftKings where? Not at DraftKings in Arizona, it ain't.
Oh, it says here, I'll send you the screenshot, my friend.
You dirty, rotten dogs. Hey, I can tell you what, I like it at 330, so at 450 or better. I mean, it's something to consider.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I like it. And for those who are starting to learn how to sports bet or what have you, obviously it's just like the stock market, the numbers can change. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'll text it over to you a little bit in just a short moment here.
I believe you.
Let's move to the co-main event, my friend. The Brazilian taking on the Frenchman and the Ritter. Your thoughts here? They're very close in age here, my friend, and as well as the reach. 78 for the Frenchman, 75 inches for the Brazilian. The records are as well very similar. The Frenchman has, of course, 21-3. We're 17-2 for the Brazilian. What's your take on this co-main event?
Well, my first take is, as gently as I can possibly say it, De Ridder is from the Netherlands. He's Dutch.
Oh, and I'm sorry.
And he's a world-class bad-ass grappler, as highly decorated as they come. And when he grappled at 205 pounds almost his whole career. In the UFC, he cuts dynamic amounts of weight to get to 185, then rehydrates. When he steps in the cage the night he fights, he'll weigh almost 210. And he has massive size advantage, which is something that must be considered. Now, in his last fight, which was his second 5-round fight in a row, and it was his fourth fight in 11 months, that weight cut caught up to him. He had nothing left. He looked terrible, and he left the fight on his stool in the fourth round, and he didn't come out for the fifth. So that's a terrible look for an athlete. He's had to eat all the crap from the aftermath of that since then. And now he's coming into a 3-round fight where he's going to be pretty much the bigger man, and he's going to bring his single point of focus grappling to the fight. Now, you go to the other side, the Brazilian Baralho. Baralho has every bit the world-class grappling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu that the Dutchman has. Doesn't have quite his size. If you look on the height and reach, and anywhere you look, you'll see that they got Baralho listed at 5'10", which is what I have. Well, I've seen them standing up now next to each other a couple of times. Baralho's 6 foot. So he ain't no 5'10". They're estimating too small, but he's smaller, more compact. He has every bit the grappling game that De Ridder has, maybe not the size, but what he does have is a very exceptional striking with power and the ability to move. DeRidder is Frankenstein on his feet and cannot handle striking, strike defense, or strike evasion. So he is a singularly dimensioned athlete going against Borrallo, a much more well-rounded athlete. Now, here's another fight where I think the market, because of what happened to DeRidder in his last fight, is thinking the guy's a weenie and he doesn't want it and everything, which couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it was the 5th round, and this is a 3-round fight. He's had time to refresh his mind, his body, get ready for this. He knows how people are talking about him. So, and Borrallo isn't a huge finisher anyway. So I believe this is Borrallo being busy, keeping it on the feet more. On the grappling, I think it's going to be a push. So it's going to go to the feet, and on the feet, Borrallo has the advantage. I see Borrallo as a decision here, and that's maybe the way I would take this. But in a fight way closer than people think, because DeRidder isn't the weenie that everybody thinks he is.
So let's go with Borrallo by decision. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's go now to the main event. And I apologize. He is, of course, Netherlands. So that's my mistake. But let's talk about the main event. Max Holloway. This is, of course, a rematch as well. Max Holloway taking on Charles Oliveira for the Brazilian. If we look at the odds here, obviously it's weighing on Max Holloway at -230, but do you see an angle here that you would like to kind of dive into?
No, sometimes I think what we have to do there, Mr. JoeDaFan, is we just got to keep it simple, stupid. And that last one's right for me. And so in this one, I acted early and published it early that Holloway -215, I think, is just the simple, easiest way to go. I think if you want to get cuter than that, and you want to take some risk aversion away from 215, Holloway, I wouldn't go by KO or by sub. He's probably not going to sub him, but he'd sure like to. I say you take that. At DraftKings, they have a category that is TKO, KO, or DQ, TKO, submission, or DQ. So that means any inside the distance would win you that bet. And it's a milder, more conservative way to go. So if you want to take Holloway from maybe -215 to -135, I think that's about the price he is to win just inside the distance. And I think that it's just because he's too weathered, he's too strong, he's fought against this. I shouldn't say this because Charles has fought great competition as well. The difference between these two is that Max knows he can win and Charles is hoping he can win. I really believe that's the case. In their first fight at 145 pounds 11 years ago, Charles had the tag of a quitter. And in that fight, a minute and a half in, something happened. He got hurt, and Holloway was declared the winner because he just stopped fighting. And so in the 11 years since then, I think it's safe to say that Oliveira has shed that reputation of being a quitter. He's a legitimate badass fighter, but on his feet, he's too willing to exchange, and that's where Max is much too straight. While Charles would be hooking and looping, Max is much too straight and would get 3 or 4 into Charles's 2. And Charles has taken damage. He is hittable. And I just think that there's a difference in this fight between these two, and -2-1 is an accurate depiction of it, I think.
Yeah, I like that. I like that strategy. I like that strategy a lot, especially, again, for those who are not familiar with MMA and with the betting and stuff like that. Make sure you check out my friend to the end, Lou Finocchiaro, and his podcast, Bout Business. You can catch that anywhere you get your streaming podcasts. Just check him out. You can see him on X at GamLou, or check him out at his website, gamlou.com. We wish you the best of luck, my friend, and everybody else. We'll be right back, and we'll have, of course, the wise man in regarding our college basketball picks before the major tournaments start. We'll be right back. And we're back here, and it's great to always catch up with our friend Lou there, Shano. He had some great picks there, my friend.
Yeah, Lou's the man. He's been doing it for a long time. He knows this sport inside and out, and he's definitely entertaining to listen to as well. So check him out on his own podcast as well, right? Which is you can find on VSiN, and he also posts on his X page as well, which is at Gamble Lou. So check him out, give him a follow. Super entertaining guy, and definitely knows the fight game better than anybody.
Absolutely. Let's bring in the wise man. We'll talk some college basketball, and I'm just going to start shooting the first fight. I just don't understand how people are still saying, because you have a big game coming up on Sunday as you take on your favorite school, and you're traveling to that. I don't know if it's north or south. I don't live in Michigan. I never did.
About 45 minutes southeast. So
okay, I apologize. Now I learned something, but
teach
my
you
point
Michigan
is
geography.
I do need to work on my geography.
Is it Michigan the one where they pull up the hand? Yeah, that's what I'd say. Isn't Michigan the hand?
You live. This is where you live. This is where you live.
Because Lou called me out for me messing up. I said France when it was supposed to be the Netherlands. Sorry, I got that wrong, so I apologize. He corrected me, and I admit when I'm wrong. But I'll tell you what I'm not wrong on. A 25. I'm assuming you're 25-5. Correct? That's your record.
I think that sounds right. Sounds right. Please tell me you're gonna not say that they shouldn't be a number 2 seed.
It shouldn't be a number 2 seed.
I mean, you have no. I mean, where I agree, they shouldn't be a 2 seed. They should be a 1 seed. They're one of the top teams in the country.
What?
What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Listen. All I'm saying is, wow. Okay. All I'm saying is, if I don't understand how. Okay, Carolina went undefeated at home, 18-0. When we didn't even have our great players, and Caleb Wilson, of course, is out for the season. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But we went 18-0. Can Sparty say the same thing?
We don't need to say the same thing. Here's what you need to know come March. March, you need 2 things to succeed in the tournament. You need guard play. Check. Jeremy Fears, one of the best guards in the country. You need coaching. Check. You have Tom Izzo, one of the greatest coaches of all time, and you need free throw shooting. Michigan State can shoot the free throw. So all 3 of those things line up. I'm expecting big things out of this team come tourney time.
Not consistently on the charity stripe. I'm just saying, man.
One of the regions is in DC. If Sparty or UNC gets put in I think that's the East region, obviously.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're correct.
I think we need to do a Just Win Bets Baby live outside of Verizon Center. And maybe we see UNC play Sparty and we beat up on you for the second time this year.
No, we're not. I think we're like in the Midwest. We're definitely not. If we go to the West, we're toast. We don't. I don't even think we get out of the second round. Yeah, it's bad. Let's begin, of course, with our picks. I will start first as I go into the SEC with Arkansas taking on Missouri. The 20th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. Love that icon, or excuse me, I should say logo. Saturday game at noon, but the problem is they're playing in Missouri. So Calipari, excuse me, has a team peaking at the right time. Again, can't say so much about, certain teams, including North Carolina. But anyway, Trayvon Brazel coming off a career high of 28 points. And their catalyst, of course, the freshman, you mentioned their, the guard and stuff like that, their freshman sensation, and Darius Cuff Jr. is pretty much the engine that runs Arkansas Razorbacks. Going quickly to Missouri, they're 10-7 in the SEC. I don't see them going to the big dance at all. I think they're lucky if they get the NIT. That should be like the phone call that when Michigan State calls and says, hello, NIT, click. Hi, this is Coach Izzo from Michigan, click. Anyway, I'm going to go with a very small road favorite here. It's running at -2.5. I got this earlier with FanDuel, and I'm going to pull this up right here. Actually, excuse me, I'm taking a money line. I'm going to take my first pick is going to go Arkansas. The odds had changed. So I'm going to go Arkansas -111 over Missouri. In Missouri, they pick up the win. Arkansas money line at -111 at FanDuel.
Nice.
That's going to be my first pick. That's going to be my first pick. Let's go with the Wiseman on his first pick.
Sounds good. Listen, I think this is my favorite pick of the year. As you like to say, throw the mortgage on it. I'm going out to one of our favorite places we've been all year, out to LA, where you have two LA teams battling it out Saturday night. UCLA traveling across town, facing USC. Latest number I'm seeing is UCLA -4.5. I think I've seen a -4.5 out there. UCLA comes in 20-10. They've been playing on the bubble for the better part of the past month. How have they responded to playing on the bubble? They're 3-2 with two of the most impressive wins in the Big Ten recently over the past month. They have a win over Illinois when they weren't favored. And then on Tuesday, maybe the most impressive win of the season, they beat a strong Nebraska team, which is a darling this year. They beat them by 20. So they are starting to fire. They've responded well to playing on the bubble. They're slated at around a 10 seed. But you don't want to slip up there. You don't want to lose your last game of the season and then lose the first game in the tournament. Or in the conference tournament. So I still think they have a lot to play for. They can improve their seed. They could even maybe, slip out of favor with the committee. Now they're playing a USC team that's 18-12. They were also playing on the bubble the past month. And how did they respond? And we talked about it last week as well. They've lost now 5 in a row and failed to cover in all 5 of those games. Their last loss on Wednesday was to Washington. They lost by 19. And that's a team that's not going to the tournament. And they lost to them by 19. So these two teams played a week and a half ago. UCLA was favored by 6.5 in that game and won by 19. So now you're telling me that number has gone down to 4.5. I just don't get the math. And it's not like they're traveling across the country. They're traveling across town to USC. So you also have drama going on in the locker room at USC. Chad Baker-Mazara was kicked off of the team. Apparently he was battling injury, but was kind of milking it and only playing when he wanted to play. So he's now off the team. That's their leading scorer, their best player. Meanwhile, on the flip side, UCLA, Tyler Bilodeau, he's their leading scorer, averaging 18 and 6 rebounds. He's going to have a big game. He did not have a good game against Nebraska. I think they held him scoreless in the first half. So I think he's looking to get right as we start to get into March. And so UCLA also has an extra day of rest. They played on Tuesday. USC played on Wednesday. No travel involved, obviously. And then the kicker is Mike Cronin posted on social media a couple of days ago that all students who contact the university, UCLA is going to give each student 2 free tickets to go to the game, to travel across town. They want to turn the Galen Center into Pauley Pavilion. And so all the stars are aligning for UCLA just to blow out USC here. So give me the Bruins -4.5.
Bruins -4.5. As we move, of course, to Shano's pick in just 1 second, you mentioned the player who was just kicked off USC, where he just wanted to play whenever the heck he wanted to play. Maybe he was hanging around Draymond Green. Didn't he do that? I'm just saying.
Draymond Green, how many rings does Draymond have in the NBA? How many does he ever?
Thanks to Steph, 3, I believe.
Thanks to Steph. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Klay Thompson.
He's a great Spartan. Does he get into a little? Does he talk a little trash? Does he, get into trouble? Yeah, but he was born and raised by the bad boys of Detroit, the Detroit Pistons, with Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn. They taught him well. It's good to have a little bit of chip on your shoulder. Go Draymond.
We might have to check in.
Draymond's got 4, by the way.
Thank you very much. Shane,
He's got 4 rings.
take that,
apologize.
JoeDaFan.
And 2 gold medals.
And 2 gold medals. Look at that. We might have to check in later on with you, Wiseman, regarding the Detroit Pistons update on your bet there. But let's bring in Shano with his first pick for tomorrow's matchups in the NCAA college basketball.
All right, let's go. 2-0 last week. Big 2-0 last week. I'm 15-3 since we've been doing this, guys. 15-3. That's a hell of a record. I've been killing it with Big East picks all year, and I always go to the Big East. I'm going back to the Big East here again. I'm picking against another Michigan school here in Marquette. How do you feel about Marquette as a Michigan guy?
Marquette, Tom Crean used to coach Marquette. He's a Izzo disciple. I don't mind Marquette.
Just curious. Just want to see what you say.
Yeah.
Who's the best player from Marquette?
But they're going to get smoked. They're going to get smoked tomorrow. I think I agree with you in this one.
I agree too. So I've been killing it with the Big East, like I said, and I think it's because I don't know if the sports book overlooked this conference or something, but I told you last week I picked UConn. Oh, sorry, I didn't pick UConn. I picked Seton Hall to cover a 14.5 spread against UConn. They were dogs, 14.5 point dogs, and I said that point spread was way too big. Seton Hall is a pretty good team. They're not great, but they're pretty good. They're fighting to try and get into the tournament. They're on the bubble. Probably not going to make it. They're probably going to be one of the first teams out. But that was way too big. And then they're playing Marquette here, and Marquette is 8 games below 500, and UConn already played them this year and beat them by 16. And then UConn is favored by 8.5 points. I don't understand this at all. I think those 2 point spreads probably should have been flipped, right? So UConn is rated 21st in the college basketball on defense. The Golden Eagles of Marquette, they are 270th on offense and 181st on defense. These teams aren't close, aren't comparable, I don't think. I think UConn's a much better team. I think they win easily. I don't know if it's by 16 again, but I could easily see them winning by 10, right? So I'm taking the Huskies minus 8.5. I got that earlier. I saw it on, I had it up here. I think it was on Caesars. Was at minus 8.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. Yeah, I just pulled it up.
FanDuel has a minus 9.5. So stay away from FanDuel for this one if you're betting on it. Not that I think they can still probably cover 9.5 as well, but why risk the extra point, right? We can get better odds somewhere else. But give me the Huskies minus 8.5 against Marquette.
Okay, I just put it in, and I'm going to go UConn minus 8 at Caesars. So either way works. You know, I just don't want to get. I hate the kicker. Just hate the kicker. Kicker kills me. Let's go to our hot dog pick. We're going to be using DraftKings for this one. Our friends over at DraftKings, which, by the way, I had Michigan State with Rutgers earlier, and apparently, they only scored 50 points in the first half. Okay, that's what it was like 30-23, give or take. It was 53 points in the first half. Oh, so okay. So then Sparty, who scored 30 in the first half, puts up like 85, 90 points in the second half.
Blows, just domination.
Right.
He's been telling you all year that they're a second half team.
I understand that.
Thank you very much, Shano. I've been saying it all year.
I understand that. I didn't take the spread. I took the over under. It was I took under 146.5 points. Who knew Sparty showed up with an extra 60 points in the second half?
So it went over, right? Yeah.
Oh, it definitely went over. I took the under.
Yeah. I mean, once again, why are you doubting me? I'm telling you they're a second half team. You shouldn't be playing the unders when Sparty's playing at home. They're a dominant team at home. The Izzone rocks. And, come talk to me. Can you just talk to me before you make these selections?
Let's go to the hot dog. All right, I'll do that. Let's go to the hot dog here, and I'm going to go to ACC. No, someone asked me, or Shane asked me, of course, Carolina. I'll give you a quick lean on that. I'll take the 17.5 Carolina because they do tend to keep it close. Carolina's going to get destroyed. I feel bad for the one and done of Caleb Wilson. I hope he doesn't go, but hey, money talks, right? But I'm talking about, of course, Boston College, BC, as they travel to Notre Dame. Notre Dame has one of the best free throw shooting teams in the ACC. not like, Michigan State that I've seen lately. While Boston College ranks near the bottom of the country with 64.5%, a game that's projected to be a thin 1.5, 2-point spread here. The ability to close on the charity stripe is paramount here. But listen, it's a huge red flag for BC if they are 0-7 in the last 7 games on away games. So that's a huge red flag for me. But I'm going to go over under here. I'm going to go under 141.5 total points in the Notre Dame Boston College match. I think it'll be very close, but give me the under 141.5. That'll be my first hot dog pick.
Battle of the Catholics there.
Hey, don't forget Lent. So that's
right.
Yeah.
Shalom or whatever.
JC's going to be watching that game.
There you go. JC is. Hey, so was JC. Remember? You remember that line?
JC. Oh, you're good.
Hey, he's like, Gaylord Fokker was like, "Hey, I'm Jewish." Hey, so was JC.
Yeah.
Greg's a male nurse. Oh, that's nice. I once had a dog who had a limp, and I helped him.
It's good to give back. It's good to give back.
Yeah.
I think you guys call it a hopa.
Yes. Great movie.
Great movie. We haven't done anything lately. Owen. The last thing I saw Ben Stiller do was like he was jumping off he was doing a what was it, Instacart commercial, and he jumped off like some like stairs thing. Did you ever see that commercial?
That was Super Bowl commercial. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Ben Stiller's been directing a lot lately. Not so much acting. He have you seen that series? It's on Apple TV. It's called Severance.
Yes.
He directed and co-wrote that, I think, too. But he was he's the main director for that. So he's been doing a lot of directing lately. Gotcha. I love Ben Stiller's dad more than Ben Stiller.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah. George's dad.
Yeah. George Costanza's dad. He's hilarious as that.
Yeah, he was the best. He was definitely the best.
Something About Mary or Meet the Parents. You can choose
Something About Mary.
Something about Mary.
Yeah.
Over Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
I love There's Something About Mary. It's a great movie.
Yeah. Brett Favre.
Oh, hair gel.
Hair gel. Oh, let me have some. Yeah.
How'd you get the beans above the Frank?
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't like about the movie, and I don't like the actor at all, the comedian, the self-proclaimed comedian, is Chris Elliott. He sucks. I think he killed that whole movie. If you get rid of him and put somebody else in there, it's that guy. The movie's great. Matt Dillon in there was great.
I got a kind of cool story about There's Something About Mary. My stepdad is pretty good friends with the Farrelly brothers who wrote that movie and directed that movie. He met one of them. He won a tournament to win, or like a raffle or something like that, to be paired up with one of them in a celebrity golf tournament. And he got paired up with one of them. They hit it off, and they're pretty good friends. And they don't hang out all the time, obviously, because they live up in Massachusetts or something like that. But they talk to each other all the time. They text and stuff, and so it's kind of cool.
That's great. Shana, let's get to your hot dog pick here.
My hot dog pick. Okay, I'm going to the ACC for this one. Louisville is playing Miami. Miami's the 22nd ranked team in the country, playing tomorrow at 2 p.m. Louisville is coming into this game 21-9, but they've lost 3 of their last 5. And the 2 wins they do have there, they beat Syracuse, who's a 500 ball club, and they beat Georgia Tech, who's 11-19. So their 2 wins in the last 5 haven't been impressive. Also this year for Louisville, they have not been very good on the road. They have lost their last 3 away games, and they have a record of 3-7 in true away games this year. A lot of their away games are on neutral fields. They've been okay on neutral fields, but not courts, I should say, not fields. But on true away games where they're going to opposing team's actual building, they're 3-7. So that's not good. On the other hand, Miami is 15-2 at home this year. Very good home team. They're 24-6 overall, and they've won 4 of their last 5. So I think that Miami should be favored here. I don't know why Louisville is favored. That Louisville is a -1.5 point favorite there. Louisville does have a top 25 offense in college basketball, but Miami's solid on both ends of the court. They're like top 30 in defense, and they're like top 45th, I think, in offense, if I remember correctly. Right. So I think the Miami should be favored here. I don't know why Louisville is. I got Miami money line at even money. That's my pick there for that is Miami money line even at +100.
Okay. And I made a mistake earlier. I think I said under 141.5 points. I meant to say over 141.5 points in the Boston College Notre Dame game. So I apologize.
Yeah, you definitely said under, so yeah, over.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. So right now, using DraftKings, we're at +261 as we go to the Wiseman's.
Are they still +100 on DraftKings money line?
No, it's -110.
Oh, see, look at it. It's money's coming into Miami. I told you it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I sent
you're
you guys
moving the line,
earlier.
Shano. You're moving the line. You're moving the line.
Hey, when you're 15-3, that tends to happen, man.
I agree.
You got to spike those, fucker.
You got to spike those. Lawrence Nightingale over here and play a little defense.
All right. So what's your hot dog pick there, Wise?
Okay, I forgot to mention I was 2-0 last week as well. That moves me up to 12-6. Shano can't shake me. I think I can still in the running. I can still catch him come tournament time. So 12-6, I'll take. Right. Listen, I told you last week there's nothing better than late night Mountain West basketball. So I am going to go back out to the Mountain West where we have a great game tomorrow, 4 p.m. New Mexico, traveling to Utah State. This is for the Mountain West Championship. If Utah wins, they win it outright. If New Mexico wins, they can grab a share of the title. I'm showing Utah State favored by about 8.5. Utah State comes in 24-6. They're solidly in the tournament. I think they're slated around an 8 seed. So I don't think they're playing for their tournament life here. But they are 1-3 in their last 4, and they failed to cover in all 4 of those games. That includes a loss this past Tuesday to UNLV, who's not going to the tournament. They were favored. Utah State was favored by 7.5 in that game, and UNLV won by 27. So Utah State's trending in the wrong direction. They also had a loss when they were to Nevada when they were favored, and then a loss to San Diego State in their last 4. So flip on over to New Mexico. They're 22-8, and they are playing for their tournament lives. I think ESPN has them as the last team in the tournament right now, New Mexico. So they are playing for their tournament lives. Their last 5, they're 3-2. They beat the same San Diego State team that Utah State just lost to. So I'm going with New Mexico here, +8.5. Utah State could win it. I just think that's too many points for a New Mexico team that is fighting for their tourney lives. They're the last team in the tournament right now. They need a win here, and they can still win a share of the conference. So give me New Mexico +8.5.
We are at +589. No bonus to this week. So +589 is going to be our hot dog pick there, our combination. So just as a recap, I took Arkansas money line, and for my hot dog pick, I took Boston College over 141.5 points. Shano?
Miami Hurricanes money line, and then UConn -8.5. Or -8 if you got to the Caesars. That's currently at -8 on Caesars.
Yep. And then Wise on your 2 picks, please.
Yep. UCLA -4.5 against USC out in LA tomorrow night. And then Mountain West going with New Mexico +8.5 against the Utah State Aggies.
Very nice. Very nice. So let's wrap up real quick. But there's some disturbing news that Shano brought up during the during the break there when we're at commercial. The Washington Capitals trade John Carlson, and of course you have the floor here, Shano. You're a little upset about that, but before I send it to you, I did predict the Washington Capitals would not make the playoffs. I'm just saying.
They're definitely not making the playoffs now. They were 4 points out of the playoffs currently, so they still had a shot. But I mean, they traded away Nick Dowd, and Nick Dowd, he's a good player, solid player. He's a forward, but he's really good on your penalty kill. He's a really good penalty killing forward. And he does a lot of like that gritty, like down to work stuff that you need on a hockey team, right? But the big news, and it shocked a lot of people, John Carlson, who got drafted by the Capitals, been on the Capitals for 16 seasons, is got traded away. That's just shocking when you have one of your captains get traded away like that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's probably going to be beneficial in the long run. He's on the last year of his deal. But a lot of people thought that they would keep him there because he's really close with Ovi, and this is probably going to be Ovi's last year. He might come back next year. There's rumors that he might. I doubt it. I think he's going to retire, and it's just sad to see that he won't be there and won't be a part of that. I have John Carlson as the best defenseman for the Capitals history. There's a debate there between him and Rod Langway.
Langway, yeah.
So it's a debate between those two. But Carlson's been on this team for so long. He brought us something Langway never did, that Stanley Cup. So farewell, John Carlson. It's sad to see you go. It's like an end of an era here. They did get a first-round pick back for him, and
sure.
they made with that Nick Dowd trade too. They have 4 first-round picks in the next 3 years, and they have the most picks in the top 3 rounds for the next 3 years, more than any NHL team. So it's going to benefit them because they lost him obviously now, and then Ovi's retiring, so they have to retool. It's like an end of an era for the Caps and the Caps fans, and it kind of sucks, right? It's like a lot of people didn't see it because he's just been here so long. He's been such a great player and such great for the DC community that it sucks that he is no longer with us on the team.
Business is business. And speaking of business, we go to the wise man real quick before we sign off. How's the Detroit Pistons doing?
Detroit Pistons are up 7 games in the Central Division. So, I have that parlay that's still out there. I got Pistons winning the Central Division outright, parlayed with the Red Wings making the playoffs. And so cash out is up to about 700 right now. The worry is the Red Wings, the greatest franchise in arguably sports history. The Detroit Red Wings, the winged wheel, definitely the best logo in all of sports.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah, great logo. They're in 3rd place in the Atlantic right now, so they're comfortably in the playoffs if we were to start now. But, this is grind time here. It's they're, I think, 5 clear in the wild card, so they still got some work to do. But we might need to start thinking about the cash out. I'm going to be looking to you guys for some help on that.
So current points. What the first wild card team right now is the Canadiens. They have 75 points. Red Wings currently have 77. So they're 2 points up on the wild card. So the Canadiens are starting to push towards you.
Yeah, and then the Bruins are the second wild card, I think, and they're at 73. So we're
73. Yep.
4 points clear of them. So
73.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight.
The one you have to worry about, another one too, is right below the Bruins, is the Blue Jackets. They've been on fire.
Yes.
The Blue Jackets have been on fire. They've won like 10 of their last 12 or something like that. It's like they've been on killing it lately.
8-1-1 in their last 10.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire, I've been on fire with my MLS picks there, Shano. First 2 weeks, 5-1, my friend.
5-1.
Yeah, it was a bad beat on one of those things. I'm going to look at the form, but hey, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I've got 4 games that I've already released. And you can watch that on YouTube or sign up for our newsletter, a free daily newsletter that you can just go to our website, justwinbetsbaby.com, put in your email and you'll get that. I'm covering now. I've got a little bit of time. Went back and redid the formula, the algorithm for Serie A, 3-0 after me coming back for that. Doing a little bit of La Liga, and I'm 2-1 there. I need to look at the EFL Championship a little bit, and as well as the EPL. The EPL's on a break, so that's something I'm going to have to look at that formula too. But hey, MLS baby, we're looking good. We're looking good. Looking really good.
5-1 is great. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah. You had, of course, some hockey picks for tonight.
Yeah, tonight. We were talking about this off air. Today's always a weird day to bet in hockey because it's trade deadline, and if someone's getting traded, they don't play, right? So sometimes you have some stars sitting out and stuff like that. So it's always kind of up in the air. One of my picks is not looking good right now, though. Good God. I just opened up my phone here. I had the Blackhawks taking on the terrible Canucks, and the Canucks are up 3-1 right now. So let's go Blackhawks. They got to turn that around. And then what was my other pick? I can't even remember it right now. It's off the top of my head. I sent it to you. What was it?
Yeah, I know. I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, Bruins
Bruins
money line.
Yes.
Bruins money line. Bruins.
But that's later tonight.
That doesn't start until
another hour, I think.
Yeah, that doesn't start till later tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But like I said, today's always a hard day to do it. Blackhawks did make some moves, so that could be a reason why, because they're reshuffling rosters and stuff like that. But it's still early; it's still first period, so they can come back.
Yeah, and I'll give you one of my free picks right here, live on here. I'm going to go with Inter Miami -1 on the Asian handicap as they take on DC United. Inter Miami, of course, is in town. They just met with the president, gave him a nice kit, as they call it. They don't call them jerseys there, Shane, as you know. They call them kits. And it has 47 on there, so it's pretty nice. And it has like a pink ball. That's the colors that Inter Miami win. But Inter Miami, that was my only loss, where I had under 3.5 last game, and it was a 2-0. Orlando City was beating Inter Miami in Orlando, and then Messi got kind of PO'd, and they scored 4 straight and ended up 4-2. So that was my only loss this season in MLS. But because them playing in the CONCACAF and other tournaments, that's why I was like, I didn't think they were going to have that many guys out there or whatever. But that's my freebie on that one. Our last thing is, of course,
real quick for that. Yeah. NHL Bruins was yesterday. Tonight I had the Ducks. I remember that.
The
Ducks are great at home, and they're taking on the Canadians. I had Ducks money, just straight money line. So that was the other pick for tonight. All right, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Wiseman, anything in golf? I know you won't cover until the Masters, but anything in the old Palmer International Invitational? Excuse me. I'm still learning.
Yes.
Still learning.
This is a signature event down in Florida. We're now starting the Florida swing. PGA Tour now moves East Coast. They just finished up the West Coast swing. To be honest, I haven't been tracking it. I was actually down in Baltimore in your neck of the woods past couple of days for some work. So
okay.
Actually, we're going to be definitely ramping up in the next couple of weeks to get ready for the Masters. And so we have a lot of big tournaments coming up. A lot of signature events. So looking forward, golf season is going to be in full swing. I mean, what you pivot. Jim Nantz has one of the greatest lives of all time. He finishes announcing the NCAA tournament on that Monday, the Final Four, and then he travels right to Augusta to start announcing the Masters 48 hours after the last shot in the tournament. So this is a great time of year, boys. Buckle up.
So next week, of course, it's going to be the Players Championship, and as you say, it's moving up. It's going to still be in Florida there as they move up to Augusta for the Masters. So maybe you'll have something, maybe a small little lean for that one.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a lean. I'll let you know. We can post something. I think Rory's playing great. There's a little bit of there's a member guest tournament at an exclusive club down in Florida. It's always the week before the Arnold Palmer at Seminole Country Club, very prestigious member guest, where the PGA Tour player plays as a guest. And so Rory played as a guest with his dad, and Rory and his dad won the member guest. And it's a pretty big deal. And Dad Rory said Kid Rory carried him the whole time. And so Rory's playing well. I think he's going to be tough to beat. He's going to be defending at Augusta. So look for Rory these next couple of weeks.
Very nice, very nice. So that ends our show for tonight. Catch all of our picks. If you want our exclusive picks, you can go to justwinbetsbaby.com, sign up for our free newsletter, and it has all the events. It's going to have the UFC, what Shano had, a little bit of what Lou Finicaro had as well. So we want to thank him for coming on earlier with us. We'll have, of course, our college picks, our hot dog picks for college basketball, some more NBA, where I've been doing pretty well in the NBA there, Shano, as well. 2-0 last night, and I think I've been 7-2. That's weak, or maybe 6-2. I believe it's 6-2. I'll have to double check that. And then of course your NHL picks, more soccer picks, everything else on there. Just sign up. It's all free. You can just get it into your inbox. Usually comes around 9:30, 10 o'clock on the Eastern time, and you can get that absolutely free. So for Shane O'Mac, for the Wise Man, I'm Joe the Fan. We will see you next time. Stay safe. Good luck to everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.